Okay, so you want to get into nitro and you're thinking about getting a cheap nitro car. Should you do it? General answer is no. People will tell you don't do it. You know, you get what you pay for, all that kind of stuff. So should you buy a cheap nitro car? I don't know. Maybe you want to get your feet wet. Maybe you don't want to make a big expense. You want to see if you actually like the hobby before you make a big purchase. I mean, it's understandable. But should you buy a cheap one, or should you buy something a little better? I guess prices go from maybe 150 on the low, and all the way up to like $600-700, maybe $1,000 for very specific models of ready-to-run nitro cars. So yeah, where do you start? Well, that's what we're going to talk about on this video, and for that I got a cheap ready-to-run nitro car. So this is Exceed RC, same deal as HSP, Himoto, Red Cat, all of those 110 scale buggies and trucks and whatever, they're all the same thing. So yeah, this is what we're going to be talking about, and let's get into it. But first, welcome back to Busted Nuts RC. You know, my name is Pernell. Thank you for coming back. Thanks for all the likes, all the comments, all the subscribers, all the new subscribers. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, without any further ado, let's get into this thing. Okay, so let's open it up. Let's unbox it. Let's look at it. And yeah, we'll go from there. Let's just see what comes in the box and whatnot, and then we can break it in, run it, and you know, I'll tell you what I think, and we will dive a little deeper into whether or not you should buy a cheap RC car, but in this case a cheap nitro RC car. And the reason I'm saying that is because it is definitely not the same thing buying a cheap electric car than buying a cheap nitro car. When you throw a nitro engine into the mix, you know, you're dealing with something completely different. So you're dealing with engine tuning or engine issues and troubleshooting and all that stuff. So let's see if it's a good idea buying one of these. So let's open the box. Okay, I hope you guys can see in there. Look at that. You get some decals, you get an owner's manual with your antenna too, and you get a tiny car. So what is this? This is an Exceed Blower 1/16 scale nitro ready to run all-wheel drive tiny buggy. Here it is. So let's cut that off and let's take a look at this tiny thing. Damn, this thing is small. It is pretty small. Look at that. That's awesome. Let's open the transmitter box. Your transmitter. It has just steering and throttle trim. You can reverse both inputs and endpoint adjustments. Decent wheel. Oh, you know what? The wheel, it's not foam, it's rubber, but it feels pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this transmitter, for a car that is worth 200 bucks, the transmitter is, or feels better than the one that came on the Hobby Tech NXT. That thing was horrible. Anyway, okay, let's see. Like I said, this is a 1/16 scale nitro ready to run buggy. It is all-wheel drive. It only has 2 diffs, front and rear, so it's like a direct drive in the center. There you go, made in China. And yeah, like I mentioned before, HSP, Exceed, Himoto, and Red Cat, all the same. So I mean, you won't have any trouble finding parts for these things, especially on the 1/10 scale. That stuff is all over the place. I mean it all over the place. But look at this. I mean, this thing is tiny. I actually like how small and ridiculous it looks, but I mean, it's kind of cool, to be honest. Let's check on size for comparison. This is an 8 scale buggy. You can see it there. And this is our cheap $200 ready to run Nitro Buggy, 16 scale. Yeah, you can tell. So, okay, let's look into it. As expected, of course, there's not gonna be anything fancy here. This was $200, all said and done with shipping. They are all over the place. I think if you order directly from China, from like Alibaba or AliExpress or one of those websites, you can probably get it for cheaper. I don't know, but yeah. So what do I see here? We have a tiny engine. Let me find out about the specs. I think this is a 0.07 cubic inch engine. I don't even know what that translates to, but it is tiny. Look at that, the header and the pipe. Look at your fuel tank. I mean, it holds a spit in it. You can spit in it and it will be full. Your air filter, battery, and receiver tray. The servos, of course, they have to be small because this is a 1/16, and that servo horn, it looks pretty weak. I don't know how that's gonna do. I mean, of course, this is not, you know, incredibly fast. It's not too heavy, but I don't know how this is gonna do. We're gonna find out, of course. Plastic shocks. It is a C-hub car. Let me take it apart. No, that one was loose. As always, when you get a new RC car, whether it's electric or nitro, go over wheel nuts, engine mount bolts, you know, all that kind of stuff, before you send it out on the street and then it comes back, or it doesn't come back. It comes back without pieces, or it doesn't come back at all. So it's a tiny C-hub car, you can see. I mean, damn, this thing is almost adorable. C-hub car, the suspension feels good. And it feels to me like the shocks are empty or almost empty. I wouldn't be surprised, of course. Yeah, you get adjustable tie rods or steering links, adjustable top links in the rear suspension. These look like 12mm hexes, probably. You get this aluminum top plate here to give this a little strength. The whole steering top plate, though, the rest of it is plastic. So is your servo saver. It's pretty much like on a 8 scale buggy, the same kind of design, but it's mounted on the left. And of course it's like tiny in size. Like I said, there's only 2 diffs, the front one and the rear, still all-wheel drive. The only difference is that in the center here we don't have a diff, so it's a direct drive from the engine. Yeah, I'm still impressed. This is tiny. So you have your high-speed needle, your low-speed needle, yeah, and your idle screw over there. Pull start. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to it. The wing's not adjustable, not that you need to adjust it on something like this. On the bottom there's this protector. I'm assuming this is just for protection, so nothing gets in here. As you're moving, you're the one in the rocks getting in there and getting stuck between your clutch belt and your sport gear. But yeah, I mean, it is all Phillips hardware, even for the engine mounts. I mean, I think that's all right on something this size and that is just recreational. 100%. So yeah, of course it looks cheap because it's cheap. It's 200 bucks. The question here is, how well is it gonna work? And not only that, not how well it's gonna work, but so let's say that you're getting into the hobby, you're new to Nitro, and you get something cheap. I don't know anything about this engine. I have no idea who makes it, so I can't tell you whether it's gonna be easy to tune, reliable. Is it gonna have any issues from factory? Who knows, right? So that is a problem when you're getting into the hobby. You're brand new. You don't want to have a bad experience, because that's just gonna leave a bad taste in your mouth, and you know, you might not even like the hobby at that point. I think it's safe to say that you're getting started. You probably should start with something you know, with more support, more reliable, easier on you. Like I said, it's not like you plug in the battery and you're good to go. You have an internal combustion engine here, 2-stroke, that you're gonna have to learn how to tune. Most likely, if you're new here, new in the hobby, you're gonna have to learn how to troubleshoot issues with the engine. I see this all the time on groups on Facebook, like, my car is doing this, my car is doing that, and they're all really simple things. The thing is, if you're new, of course, you know, it's not easy for you. And if you add to that the fact that you have something that is just unreliable to begin with, you're gonna have way more issues and trouble getting this thing to run, right? So you're not gonna enjoy your purchase. That's what I'm trying to say. Nevertheless, I think it looks good. I mean, the suspension is super silly. I'm sure the shocks are like almost empty. I'm gonna check that. You get aluminum shock towers. Yeah, I mean, tires they're kind of hard. They might last a while. I mean, I can't even complain. It was 200 bucks, and I think it's just phenomenal. The size is awesome. So we're gonna break it in. We're gonna run it, and based on how easy everything goes, you know, I will let you know whether it's a good purchase or not. My gut feeling is maybe you should start with something a little more expensive that is more reliable, but we will see. I mean, maybe I'll be surprised. I'm gonna open this really quick. I'm pretty sure this takes 4 double A's, but I'm gonna open it for you anyway. And there we go. Yeah. Oh, negative Ghost Rider. So this takes triple A's. So you need 4 triple A's for the car receiver, and then you need 4 double A's for your transmitter. So be ready with that. I think they recommend 20 to 25% nitro fuel. Of course, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go with 30%. If anything, I'm gonna add another washer to the glow plug to reduce timing, but I think it'll be okay. I'm not concerned at all. So let's break it in.
Ay. Oh my goodness. Stuck.
I don't know if you can hear that. That is the sound of broken diff. So after breaking it in, I put about 4 times the fuel in it, and that's how long it lasted. So yeah, you get what you pay for, right? And that is exactly why I don't think, if you're new to Nitro, you need to go with something this cheap. HSP, Himoto, Exceed, Red Cat, same stuff. So in my opinion, avoid. So what happened to this is the pinion gear inside the diff stripped. They're all plastic, so what can you expect? It was fun while it lasted, as you probably saw in the videos. It was kind of like doing wheelies, and it jumps kind of funny because of the size and the short wheelbase. It was fun. It's not quick by any means. I mean, after I got it tuned, it was fine. It's definitely fun, but again, it's not worth it. If you're getting into the hobby, you don't need to deal with extra headaches like a finicky linkage, finicky engine, cheap parts. Yeah, there's a lot of parts. You can go to Exceed's website like I did, and they have everything, right? Except for the pinions. They're so shitty that they're out of stock everywhere. I went to eBay, some people have it. I went to Amazon, some people have it there. They all have sold hundreds of them because obviously they fail all the time. So yeah, first Nitro, or any, I mean, at any point in your, you know, your hobby life, it's not worth it. They're, you know, they're pretty cheap for a reason. So yeah, I had some fun and all, but yeah, it's not something I will buy and play with. So anyway, that was it. Suspension is pretty funky. All the shocks were kind of empty, but then I filled them up and they started leaking. Yeah, what else? Then the engine broke in easy. It was just kind of hard to keep it running at some point, and so I had to play with the needles just to get it to idle, and then from there on it was running fine. I was actually getting it spot on when the diff decided to check out. So yeah, don't buy one of these. I mean, if you want to, you know, get a bad taste of Nitro, especially like I said, if you're new, I mean, try to avoid them. Get something that is going to be easier on you, especially because now you're dealing with, you know, an internal combustion engine instead of just a plug and play battery car. So that was it. Didn't last too long. So I ordered the pinion. I'm going to put it together. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But that was the end of this video. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the comments, all the support. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to see something in particular, just leave it in the comments. We have some videos coming, but I'm still waiting on stuff that got delayed, like the release dates and all that stuff. I need to finish the video on the WR8 with the new engine and all the mods, and we'll go from there. Maybe the next video, if you guys want to see that, we can do a video on what will be one of the best cars for beginners. So I don't know. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.